My name is Scott Dunn, Agile Coach and Trainer with RocketNineSolutions, delivering agility here in the Southern California area. Today we want to talk about a very important topic about getting Scrum started at the company level. Now, this is a very important topic because there's a lot of factors in it that I think we should at least cover, and maybe a couple of case studies would help you on your way. So let's look at one scenario at a smaller company where change comes a little easier, and for them, they simply started by picking a project that they said, here's our chance to start with Scrum. This project will be done with Scrum. Great. So when we arrive, the first thing we want to do is determine those key roles of who is the Scrum Master, who's the product owner, who's the team, and make sure that the company really understands these rules that Scrum is going to run by, because it's going to be different from how they've done work before. Training is a great start for that. Preferably for the Scrum Master, send them to the Certified Scrum Master training, and the product owner, because they don't go nearly often enough. Maybe 1 out of 10 are going through that training. But that's really going to support you long term, and Ken Schwaber did say product owner is the linchpin. And let's not forget the team. Some kind of foundational team training goes a long way to baseline everyone, get common understanding and terminology that's going to work for them. Once we did that, it's simply get started on the very first day after having a backlog ready and kick off the sprint planning and let them begin going through that. And if some of those terms aren't familiar with you, I totally understand. We have resources that can help you with that as well. So once that team got going, they had success, although they had some bumps in the beginning, but so much success that the rest of IT all got going on Scrum as well. So great success there. But let's now move over to a little bit more challenging scenario where you have a PMO involved and other groups involved, business units involved. How do you get Scrum when you get going with, say, 5 or 10 or more teams? Well, something like the Scaled Agile Framework might be something you would look at. You can always go to scaledagileFramework.com and look at the big picture, as they call it, or certainly come to one of our trainings around that to get started and get an idea of that. But that's going to map some of those additional roles, but still, you're going to kick off with training and get everyone on board, do your release planning for a large chunk of effort and get going there. Let's rewind just a little bit from those case studies of when we've done it, another company at that large size, where they first wanted to meet just to simply talk. Where is everyone going to fit in all this? That's their big concern as a late adopter. So once we identified who's going to play these different roles and what the whole training plan looked like for all these groups that they're rolling out with, that went a long way on just saying, are we all on the same page with that? We're going to start off with management training as well, so they understand their role to play in supporting this, and with some of the other key roles such as HR, on training them, say with helping these teams become self-organizing, self-managing via their strengths or personality types. And then planning out the team's cadences on how they're going to be doing this. Once we understood what they needed from us as far as making sure they're comfortable with the rollout plan, now we can get going. Now, the reason we want to say this is so critical is my first question I want to ask people when they often say, how do we get started with Scrum at the company level, company-wide, is, number one, who's your evangelist? Who's passionate about this stuff? Who's the one person that everyone in the company says, oh yeah, Joe, he lives, eats, breathes this stuff, right? He leads this stuff. I've even had people from very successful companies saying, yeah, that person, they're willing to lose their job. It was so passionate for them about this topic. So something to keep in mind. The second question, besides who's your Agile Evangelist, is what's the funding? Have they set aside money? Right? The company says we're going to do Scrum. Is it a priority? That will reflect in the budget they set aside. And truthfully, one of the common ways we get started with Scrum and Agile is training. So everyone has this understanding of it, and that costs money. The second thing I'd add, in addition to that the funding would be used for, is coaching. If you look at Salesforce's adoption, their classic case study, as well as Mitchell International's, the thing they're pointing to is we wish we had more coaching and had it earlier. So is there funding set aside that's going to pay for the coaching as well? In fact, we have a whole transformation checklist you can check out on our blog that gives you additional questions to go around and ask and getting ready for your adoption, what those next steps might look like for you. And check out the other videos that help set the context on looking for the wins for management and telling stories. I think those also go a long way on helping you get going as well. I hope some of those questions and the case studies give you something to start with and have been helpful to you. Good luck on your journey, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much.